Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, December 10, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. And make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Army vs Navy. Navy limps into this one with a 4-7 record on the season, though a win the last time out might just be enough to propel this group forward. On the road a few weeks ago, the midshipmen were able to take down UCF while taking Notre Dame to within 3 points the week prior. While the wins have struggled to come along this season, this team hasn't stopped fighting. 4 of their 7 losses have come by 10 points or less, and their recent run of strong play is timed up perfectly with their biggest game of the season. After grabbing the upset last season in this one as well, this team has quite a bit of confidence on their backs that they'll be carrying in. For Army, a slow start to the season has now given way to a nice finish. Over their last 2 games, the offense has come to life as they were able to defeat regional rivals UConn and UMass. While Navy expects to be slightly more challenging than those two might be, especially away from home, Army still has confidence growing into the finale. The Black Knights have only won 1 game away from home this season, so it remains to be seen how they handle the neutral field on Saturday. Beyond that, Army did drop last year's game and have lost 2 of 3 in the series as they look to right the ship. When they've struggled, it has come when they can't get themselves off the field, which might be the issue in this one. While all eyes are usually on the Navy's ground game, this game will be dictated by both sides of things. While the midshipmen rank 7th nationally in rushing yards per game, the change at quarterback has slowed them down of late. It helps that Army's rush defense is one of the worst in the country, as well as having the 4th best running defense. Their balance in controlling the ground on both sides of the ball certainly helped them against UCF and should come into play again in this one. John Marshall, 88 tackles, 10.5 sacks, 1 interception, is sure to have an impact on this one, and the more he can get involved, the better the chance that Navy comes out on top. While Army is more than a respectable foe, Navy will be able to make it 2 in a row in the rivalry on the backs of having success on both sides of the ball. Their offense has one of the country's best ground games, and with Army struggling to stop the run, they should be able to control their possessions and grind things out. For Army, their lack of defense hurts, as while they'll struggle to stop the run, they might have issues against Navy's vaunted run defense as well. Additionally, according to covers.com, Navy is 5-0 ATS in their last 5 games on grass and are 5-0 ATS in their last 5 games following a bye week. Navy minus 2.5 points. The Black Knights will clash with Navy in their traditional matchup 2 weeks after they dismantled the UMass Minutemen 44-7 in their final regular season game. Tyler ran for 3 second-quarter touchdowns as Army rolled. The senior now has 12 rushing touchdowns, and he is the first Army quarterback to run for 10 or more touchdowns in a season since Calvin Hopkins Jr. ran for 17 in 2018. Tyler completed both of his pass attempts and carried 11 times for 101 yards. Army's defense held UMass to just 90 yards on the ground, much of it on the opening drive. Navy has not played since November 19th, their last game being a big 17-14 upset over the then 20th ranked UCF Knights. Daba Fafana rushed for 114 yards, and Navy held the ball for nearly 40 minutes and gained 248 yards, all on the ground. Xavier Arline threw an incomplete pass on the team's only attempt. It was a big win considering they were in the midst of a losing season. The midshipmen have used Xavier Arline and Masai Maynor at quarterback since starter Ty Lavatai sustained a season-ending injury in late October. Fullback Daba Fafana leads the team with 749 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. They rank 7th in the FBS with 239.5 rushing yards per game. Expect a steady dose of rushing attacks by both teams here, as is tradition. Navy leads the series 62-53-7. Both teams do the same thing, but Army does it better, at least on offense. The Air Force version of the ground game is the strongest among the military academies, but Army's isn't all that far off as it stepped up over the second half of the season. It might not be quite as dominant as it's been over the last few years, but it hit 300 yards in 4 of the last 6 games, and 400 in 2 of those, winning them all. It's Army, it's not going to wing it around the yard, but it leads the nation in yards per completion, hitting over 22 yards on the few a game it completes, and that might be just enough. It's Army-Navy. It's going to be low scoring and it's going to be close. That one play through the air against one of the nation's worst pass defense might be enough. Navy can hit the big play, too, and it's much stronger and more consistent against the run. The midshipmen haven't allowed 100 yards rushing in any of the last 4 games, and it's not like it's done it against a slew of lightweights stuffing Notre Dame, Cincinnati, and UCF over the last 3 games. Army doesn't just have to run to win, it has to explode. It's been able to get past 200 yards without a problem. That's great for anyone else, but it needs to get to 320. It's 5-1 when it does and 0-5 when it doesn't. Navy allowed 200 rushing yards in the 13-10 loss to Air Force, and that's been about it. Houston ran well, and East Carolina and SMU had a few yards, but that's been about it against the nation's 4th best run defense. The annual Army-Navy game returns to Philadelphia for the first time since 2019 and is there for the 90th time overall. Weather should not be a concern, but it will be near freezing and somewhat blustery. Of course, that won't matter considering neither team will throw the ball more than 5 teams. The total is set at an obscene number for a football game, opening at 32.5 points. Considering neither team will throw, and the triple option will be featured 90% of the time, you simply cannot trust taking the over here. The total has gone under in 10 straight meetings between the 2 service academies, and 16 of 17. That is a crazy trend, and it will be difficult to run against it. Take the under with confidence. Under 33 points.